Spectre Studios, playing for the spirit of the game.
Operation Red Veil, set in the Infinity Universe. It sees the forces of Hakaslam versus Yu Jing. Hakaslam is blaming Pan-Oceania for its sabotage against its pharmaceutical contracts. It has infiltrated a market-defined pharmacorp and get information to pin that against Pan-Oceania and bring the light of their evil sabotage against it. However, the Yu Jing, responsible for the government and protection of the security of that area, has found itself unwillingly pitted against them, and now the two forces will come to battle to save the Hakaslam pharmaceutical contracts. Who will prevail? In this 5-part series by Spectre Studios. Stay tuned and watch all of them. And don't forget to subscribe.
Hey everybody, welcome to 2017 Spectre Studios. Benito here with Jacob, and we are here to basically introduce the new gaming communities. As you can see the title of this is the Operation Red Veil starter box set. So me and Jacob decided that we're going to go through this in a kind of a step-by-step tutorial way, like we did Operation Ice Storm. We did a little bit of the missions and kind of go through everything. We're going to take our time and explain things a little more in detail.
Right. You can learn about the game.
Exactly. So this will
Get
be
into it. Get you hooked.
Yeah, we want to get more people into this, and they seem like it takes a bit to understanding and stuff. So I figured that this would be a good starter box to kind of go back into it and take a little bit more of like, what are you looking at, what do you see, and explain things. So you can just check out this first part of this video and say, oh, all right, now I kind of know what that is. So we'll start with mission 1. It's part of this Red Veil, Operation Red Veil. Now, disclaimer note, these are introductory rules. They are not the complete rule set. And unlike other starter sets for other companies, this will not get you the complete access to everything you basically need, right?
But the good news is that you can just go to the Corvus Belly website and download the rules for free.
And the army builders. So
yeah.
It's not like you can't get them. It's not going to cost you any more to get them, but just to let you kind of know how this company is a little different from operating with that. So let's go into this. For starting with this, I am still with Hakaslam. You've seen that in a lot of my old videos. I was still playing that. You have now taken on this new army.
Yeah. All I needed to start the new year is a third army.
Yeah. It was a ninja, basically.
Yeah.
So it was like a second of that. So we'll see to that part of that. So what do we got here starting out? We got 3 models each, but they are only 1 unit type of them. So what do we have starting with this?
We have the Zanchi for the Yu Jing and the Gulam Infantry for Hakaslam. So just their basic line troopers.
Yeah, that's right. So these are the models. We have them all up and painted. As you can kind of get a quick little look at them right there, what we have. All right, and then now look at his. So now we're going to look at some of the things that you see basically right here. So for a Gulam Infantry, you see this MOV. That is movement. This is a 4/4, which means he goes 4 inches the first move of his short order, and then he can go 4 inches on a second one. There are some models that have different variations where that may be a little slower, or some rarely that will be a little faster, but that's just something to let you know. CC is close combat skill, so this will be what they use when you go to a base-to-base contact with another model. BS is the ballista skill, is when their person is using a ranged weapon to shoot at another model. PH is their physical, so sometimes they have to do some physical tests depending. There's quite a few different skills that require you to use that. You're basically going to have to roll under this stat to get that. And then whip is willpower, and that's very similar. And a lot of the hackers use this ability here, so that's kind of important. ARM is armor, and that is what is reduced from the damage of the weapon. So this will help you to get the higher this armor number is, a little bit easier to roll on the D20 to beat it. BTS is biotechnological shield. This is for very special types of weapons that hit you and stuff like that. Many models have a 0, so don't get too alarmed by seeing that 0 there. Only a few special guys actually have that. W is wounds, which is universal for many models that you see in different games. So after that, they go into the unconscious state. A little different here. We'll talk about that down the road. And S is the silhouette, which is something the game uses to kind of explain things when you're trying to get line of sight to the model, which we talk about here.
All right, then we have line of fire. And line of fire is the criterion by which players determine when a trooper can see his target. Line of fire is an imaginary straight line between the trooper and his potential target, and that's when you use that silhouette that we're talking about. That's one of the uses of it.
Right.
So, to help you since all the models are kind of a little bit different size, that makes it a general size.
All right, so a good explain of line of fire we'll look at here. So we'll have a little model, and it's going to want to shoot the model on the top. So exactly explain that.
And this is your silhouette, and it'll show you that he can see him because he can see as much as that black dot on there. And it also handily shows you if you're next to something that covers that much of the model, much like if you're against this lip, which they purposely make to be the exact height of cover. So,
so
he now has cover. You can see him, but he has cover. And in Infinity, your facing arc is important. And as they explain in here, that a target must be within the trooper's 180-degree firing arc. So you have to make sure that you're aiming your models the right way. Because if somebody's straight to the side,
get right behind
a little bit behind you, you won't be able to shoot them.
Good to know.
So it's very important.
All right, so then we have, so once you know those things, then we have important things that you see here, which is the rolls. And what we have is a normal roll, which is basically, I told you, if you were trying to do one of these below the physical, maybe like a med kit, you wanted to try to get back up, you're going to have to roll a 10 or lower. So like that 9 would work. Now we have a face-to-face, so let's go back to these two guys here. Now if they were to shoot at each other, we're not going to deal with the modifiers right now. So we're going to take a d20 each, and we're going to add their ballistic modifiers to basically these models. So they need to roll an 11 or lower. Both these models have the same ballistic scales you can see right there, and we roll. All right, so this is awesome. Couldn't roll this better. I can't really be trying to fudge this. So I hit my target at 11. But also you can see that Jacob's Senshi is also hit with an 11. Now the way a face-to-face goes is, if you hit from your ballistic skill, the higher that number is a success, but the higher one in a face-to-face will the one that works. So that means this 7 is washed out by the 11. Okay. Now the cool thing about 11s are, if you hit the model target that you need, and that's including with modifiers, then that would be a critical. So if we had taken the cover into account, as I might have needed, so -3 to that, then actually I could have been at a critical at an 8. So if I had rolled an 8 with this, then the two model, these actually would have equaled out on the critical stage, and neither one of them count. Now if we both didn't roll any criticals, let's say we both rolled 10, let's find us on the die here. So we both roll 10s, the 10s will wash out, meaning a tie, nothing happens between the two models. And that's basically how things are pretty much worked out. Now, the modifiers, if we were to go back to this, now if they're using both combi rifles, they're going to be within +3 of a combi rifle's range, because that's the ballistic range of a combi rifle. But both of them are in cover, so that will also be -3. So they actually would have been basically at the same, firing at their 11 ballistic skill.
We'd have both missed.
So it would have been same. No, it actually would have been at 11 ballistic skill, because it's +3 -3. So
it's +3.
it would have all been even like that. So that is the face-to-face rolls between the 3 things you have to worry about. And then we have, what is next?
And we have an initiative roll when you're starting the game. That's to decide who gets to go first, and you use the whip modifier for the model that's leading your group.
Who's the leader of the group?
The lieutenant.
The lieutenant. Okay, so now the cool, interesting thing about that is we don't most in the normal games of that we don't reveal the lieutenant. You just gotta basically let them know that the target number of the whip power that you're rolling for, right?
Which would be 14 for the Hawkeslam and only 13 for the.
Yeah, some models are different.
So we try to roll below that number.
Right. And so that after you basically win, deciding on whoever gets that. Before the game begins, a player must deploy their troopers in the battlefield. The winner of the initiative roll will be the first to perform the deployment. Each player has his own deployment zone. So, depending on the scenario, these will be, like this you can see as part of that. Then you will set up all your models, and then your opponent will set as well. In a typical game, after for the deployment, is once initiative is established, the winner will decide if they will have the deployment, and that will they'll tell the other person if they have to set up first or set up second. And the person who wins initiative will decide if they go first in the first round or go second. And there is no modifying that. There's no way to change that once it's decided. Once you've decided to go first, that person is going first. And then we have our game sequence?
The game sequence, and that's the game is played in a series of rounds, and each round is divided into 2-player turns. So player 1 gets their turn, and then player 2 gets their turn.
Okay.
To use all their orders.
Yep, and then it normally goes 3 turns for for most typical games. There could be things that could be a little bit different. All right, then we have active and reactive players. So basically, if it is my turn, then I am the active player, and then Jacob will be the reactive player, because there is a reactive measuring stick that can happen depending on what models do. And the next one is a pretty key one. What is this?
The order pool. So we have, as the active player, the first thing you must do when your active turn begins is count how many troopers you still have alive on the table.
Okay.
And that's the number of orders you may spend during that turn.
All right, so let's say that this is the squad for mission 1. Each model gives 1 regular order, right?
Yep.
All right, and then I have this order pool. Now what can I do with this?
You can have each guy take 1 order. You can have one take all 3 of them.
All 3? One guy can take all 3?
You can divide them up however you think is most tactically sound. Win the game.
Okay. One key thing to note: say if I put 1 order on him and he died during my turn, do I lose an order?
Nope, not until the next turn.
Next
when
turn.
you count.
All right. So good to guys to understand that and note that's part of what you can do with that. And what we're talking about is because of arrows. You can see a little bit of this. Now this is called basically the automatic reaction order. So let's say, for instance, this was hiding. This guy, Zenshi's been up here scouting out the area, making sure everything's all cool. And then this Gulam walks out with his short skill. So he's gonna walk right out here. That's a short skill. He now can see him. You'll declare your arrow, and you can do what?
Shoot back.
Or you could dodge.
Dodge.
He could, like go to ground if he wanted to. He could perform a hacking skill, something like that. There's quite a few different arrows that you can basically do for it. Commonly is shoot, but you shoot, then I will tell you my other short skill, which will be to fire back, and then we'd go back to that face-to-face that we just showed you earlier when we talked about that. So a couple things we can do here now is skills.
Yep, some of the skills that you can do in your order. If we miss the orders, things that you can do a move, and then ballistic attack, move close combat attack, move dodge, or move.
Yep.
And what move is when the player declares move, he may move up to his first move value in inches. While moving, he may freely change the direction he's facing, which when we talked about earlier is important what way you're facing. So you can turn when you're doing that. Declaring move includes disclosing the exact route that the trooper is going to follow. So you have to let your opponent know where you're moving the guy.
Yep.
Because then it could open up an ARO.
Right, and that's what the good thing using that silhouette is that you can just move the silhouette to where you want to go from point A to point B to let someone know exactly what you see. So we'll show you a good example of that. So maybe say like this guy didn't really want to, I didn't really want to move him out fully to shoot. So maybe I started here and I wanted to run over there. Now, if Jacob was on the other side of the table, he would look at that silhouette and see if he could see that. Especially with something like maybe a little bit in the distance. I'm creeping up there. Do you see me? Do you see me? Do you see me? That silhouette will help him understand of knowing that. So we got Al's ballistic skill attack. That's pretty common. And then that's pretty much a lot of that. Those little couple things we can do. Take cover. So that covers a very interesting one in Infinity. Exactly, you were mentioning this earlier. Why don't you show exactly with this model? What is cover with this model?
Well, he's moved up, and with people over here, he's moved all the way up, so he's in base contact with the lip of this building.
Okay, so what if he wasn't? Say if he was back, what does that mean? If he was like that?
Then he would not get cover from
He would not get cover. So he has to be touching the cover to get the cover?
Yep.
Okay. And so pretty much example, same thing with him. If he's touching like that, that's cover for him, right?
Yep.
But if another Sanshi comes up behind him like this, would he get covered even if he's touching that?
No, he's bombed.
He's different side. Okay, look at that. Maybe not quite, but yeah, he's not going to suffer. So basically, you got to make sure you're getting the right angle to the model, and the model is touching the base of the terrain piece to benefit from cover. All right. So then we have our close combat attack. So this is if these two models were in base to base like this, they would use that CC profile that we kind of showed you there. And that's again the highest to their profile with modifiers comes out to victory.
It's not as common in this game. Well, more shooting game. It's harder to get in there.
Most people have guns. Now here's a cool, interesting thing we should probably point out a lot to here. So let's say that this model is trying to get over here. I don't want to get into a gunfight. I want to get across to there because maybe my objective is over there, or I want to definitely cause a flank. So you can now choose an arrow to shoot me, but my other main skill would be to dodge. And dodge is to use your physical of the model. So this pH right here, and it's always unmodified most of the time, except on a few things against templates. That's usually the time. So that's a rare one. But most times you just use your pH because sometimes someone will shoot at you, and your shooting back could be because you have such a gun that's lower range, with such a bad modifier, with cover, with camouflage. You're better off dodging just to get to the next spot. So it would be your ballistic skill. So now it'd be 11 plus the range 14. So you need 14s to hit me. And I would now need my physical of 10, and that's where that would be different, and we would do a face-to-face like that. So let's do that right now. So again, I got the 3, you got the 9, so I would not have dodged the ballistic skill. He would have hit me, and then I would have to take this armor roll. And that leads us to the next thing, is armor and damage.
Yes. Successful attacks force their target to pass an armor roll or receive injuries and be removed from play. And to make an armor roll, you roll the d20 and the result. Add the result of the armor tribute to your trooper. So these guys are your basic line troopers, so they have armor 1, nothing.
Yep. We saw that.
Nothing.
We saw
fancy.
that with them. There's their armor situation there, and then we're talking about here. So this is one of the things here. So this is a rifle with light shotgun. So you can see damage 13.
This is the combi rifle what my guys have.
Okay. The Connor rifle.
You have the regular rifle.
So this way.
But you also have a shotgun.
So I got hit. So I'm going to add basically a dice to this, and what I want to do is just like usually, this is what you need lower to make the big roll. So I get to add +1 to that. So an 8 would make it a 9. It is not higher than 13.
No.
So he would take a wound, and he would go to that wonderful unconscious state. You can see that up there. All right. So I believe that's a lot of the basic stuff. This is again very, very basic things that. Let me flip this on us. Back up a little bit. All right, so that is the basic skills that we're going to use in mission 1. So we're introducing the orders, what we're doing with our skills, of our actions per the orders, what an arrow is, and all that stuff. And we'll kind of go over that as we actually get into this little fight between 6 guys, 3 on 3. The basic total available troops, including the Yujing and the Hakkasan.
No fancy weapons, just the basic loadout.
That's basically it. So basically, for the first objective, it says each enemy trooper eliminated at the end of the game is 1 objective point, and eliminating all enemies by the end of the game is worth 2. So it's kind of like working in that thing. Secondary objectives for each friendly trooper that has survived and sustaining no friendly casualties by the end of the game. So if you lose nobody, you get very super high scores, which is kind of where that works here. So we have our little zone to set up. That's the guys that we just used for our little demo. We'll remove them out of the way. And this is the little table that is set for the demo. And we will start mission 1 of the Red Veil. All right, mission 1 is ready. You won the initiative to go first. I won the deployment, so I made you set up first. So let's get to where we are here. So there is the Gulam, the 3. In that situation, your Zenshi. Try to get over here a little bit right there. They're right there. So, get that situated. Whoops. So I'm kind of looking from over here. We got 3 orders, right?
3 orders, because there are 3
active
guys out there.
Yep. If they're unconscious, do they put an order? I don't think we talked about that.
No.
No. So they have to be not unconscious. Okay. So here we go.
I have a fancy little infinity moving thing, so you don't have to take out the big.
That comes with the set thing. Yeah.
The big thing, and go ahead and use
Order number 1.
order number 1. And so we have. He's gonna move the 4 inches.
Okay. Now I see if I can see anything like that. As you can see, pretty much my guy can't see anything but wall here, so he doesn't see anything.
And then the second order is gonna be another 4-inch move because they have 4-4 movement.
All right.
Come right there. And then order number 2 is gonna be this guy. Moving 4 inches this way.
Okay.
And then his second.
And again, no, I can't. There's no arrows because I can't see him.
And the second one is going to be coming to the corner right there.
All right, and I don't think once again, nobody can see him.
Yeah,
Because that little tight little situation there.
Yeah,
Very well played for the initial setup there.
And then third order.
So you're gonna use one for every guy.
Yep, moving them all up. So first 4 and second 4.
All right. So there is our turn 1, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to my turn 1. Oops. Here we go. All right. We're in Hakaslam's turn 1, my turn, and as you saw, Jacob use 1 on each. I'm going to show you the power of using 1 on the same guy. Well, that's my hope. If he doesn't die at the end of this, but he's got a move short skill. So boom is his first, and then of course he goes 4 more. Boom. There's 1. That was one of those orders spent. Here comes number 2, and he's going to go. He's going to idle the first time, which is basically not moving, and then he's going to hide right here. And then the last order, he's going to go right here to this corner, still touching cover, and boarding shotgun this guy. But I think we got some. He's got a lot of. This will be a good example for one guy, but we're gonna have show you some things. Like everybody actually can. I think maybe not that model right there, but these 2 models can see me, so they'll both have arrows, and that's what I'm going to show you exactly somehow how the bullet mechanics really work with this. Right, so. She's going to what? What's her arrow?
Shoot.
Shoot. What's his arrow?
Shoot.
Shoot. All right. So these guys are pretty easy with that. Their instruments are 8 inches, right? So he's out of 16, right? So it doesn't matter with these guys. So they're both +3. Is there a modifier?
You have a light shotgun.
First, light shotgun I have to hit first, and then they use it simply. So they are +3 with their ballistic skill. I mean, their rifle, but he's in cover, so it's -3. So they're going to be even with their 11 ballistic skill. Now I'm going to do a shotgun, which is burst 2, and to keep it pretty straight up, I'm going to do 1 shot on each. So basically, their arrows will be face to face. Yeah, because otherwise, if I didn't.
Want to get a free shot?
Well, I'm actually going to show you what this all means. I'm only going to shotgun her, so I'm going to use both my burst on her. So I want to show you what happens without a face-to-face roll on an arrow. Okay, so let's start doing our first face-to-face roll. I need a my ballistic skill, if you remember from the
11.
is 11. So you're an 11, but I'm using a shotgun at +6 range, so I'm at a 17.
Yep.
So here they go.
11. No.
Okay, so 17 is the crit, and a 9 will wash out the 7. So this ended up being 2 hits. 1 is automatically wounding her, and then now she needs to make an armor roll. And a shotgun's damage is 13. She has armor 1, so she's going to need to roll that 13 and pass it. So she's not dead, but she will go right into the unconscious state.
And you have fancy little?
Yeah, I don't think the shotgun will do any more of that because this has a template thing, but well, actually it does hit him. So he will hit him twice for armor, and then he basically has to make the same roll again twice. That's the cool thing about templates after they hit, and he passes 1 and fails another to also go unconscious. But he had an unopposed roll. Now this is what happens when you arrow and shoot a model that did not put any of his ballistic skills into him. So this will be completely unopposed. All he has to do is hit an 11, and he does, and it will hit me. Now I'm in cover, so that will give me a +3. The combat rifle is 13. I have armor 1, so I am looking for 12. I need now 10, and I roll an 8, so I didn't make it either. So he's also unconscious. All right. And that is all my orders that were all used up. I did get 2 guys down.
Yep.
Pretty wild and crazy, but that pretty much leaves
one guy with one order.
She left. But that's the effect you can do with that. It's also the effect of the template. Normally I like to do face-to-face rolls against models because you don't get that easy hit rate to you, as you can see, which is pretty difficult, 50-50 chance of getting knocked down. So that's something to kind of think about tactic-wise when you're doing things. Even though I was able to hit the others and she because of the template, you still got to remember those face-to-face rolls.
Plus having the template.
Yeah, we got to remember those face-to-face rolls. So he's down.
And I have 1 order now.
1 order now because the other 2 don't count.
Yep. So I'm just gonna start out by coming up to the corner.
Okay.
Stopping there, I guess.
and gonna hang out.
Yep.
So I'm down to my 2 orders because I'm now also down a model. And let's see. Looks like we will go 4 here and 4 here. And then for her second order, see how these, we'll go right up to the lip, get your arrow. She'll be shooting me.
Yep.
And I'm within 8 inches, so I'll have the shotgun. So I'll be at +3. You're going to be at even because of +3, -3 with the combi rifle. Once again, so you're looking for an 11, and I'm looking for a 14. I got a shotgun.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So +6. So you miss. I will hit.
Story of my life.
I hit, but you now get the cover with the shot with the armor.
Actually 2 shots.
Oh, I did 2 shots.
Yeah.
Miss with the other one. Yes, I did. 14. So she makes the armor, and that will succeed, and that's all my action. So
Yep.
that's turn 3 now. So now she'll get the first.
I got
full
one
burst.
order, so I will shoot.
Now I only get 1 burst back as an arrow, even though the thing has 2. Now you'll have 3 because
Yep.
of your full burst of that combi rifle. So again, you're looking for 11s, and I am looking for the 14.
So
Now this is important.
Well, that's
again.
the way it's gonna
So
go.
the highest go. It washes all these out, and you will go right to unconscious.
Yep.
The model right there, meaning the Gulam.
That's it.
The Gulam infantry win for the hockey slam because you were talking earlier. They had boarding shotguns. Super amazing. Boarding shotguns are very cool. So you get to see the crits. You see full burst. You got to see how you can pull up orders on one model and exactly arrows face to face. I think we covered quite a bit of like that right there. And only had to make really a few armor checks. I made 1, you made 1, the rest were criticals.
Yeah.
But you see exactly what that all does, right? So I hope that's the basics. 3 infantrymen each of the total available that we have with the Gulam and the Zenshi. I'm kind of basically going over those orders. So I don't think anything else you want to add that we basically did not see on that. So I think we saw all that, criticals and order pool and game sequence.
Hopefully in the next mission I get to shoot you from farther away.
Yeah, with a ninja or something, that would be cool.
Where you can't just shotgun me from farther away.
Yeah, sneak right up there and get up there. So it's about, sometimes that model count helps.
Yeah.
So again, this is Spectre Studios. That's the brief Mission 1 tutorial Red Veil. We have 4 other missions that we have to accomplish. Last time I usually do the starters missions, Jake. I start good, and then I go right down it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I just let you in on these, so when we're playing bigger games that are more important, not starter sets, then I just
crush me.
roll over you.
Roll me.
And I go, well, I don't feel bad, I let you in those starter
Yeah, exactly. So it makes me, but that's how you get people in the game too. You know, you're supposed to let them win a couple times to make sure they stay around. And,
You don't want to just smash them and they say, screw this.
I don't like this game. So, yeah, I'm enjoying myself for winning. So again, that's mission 1. Make sure you watch the other 4 because we'll go through step by step of what Infinity is, all the components, the core aspects of it, so you can understand the game and join us in our community to play more. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
Look for video 2.
Here we go.
Spectre Studios. Playing for the spirit of the game.